Hello and welcome back to another episode of FGTN, the go-to place for the latest and greatest in fishing gear and tech. I'm your host, Alex Timm, and tonight we're diving deep into new ice gear from top brands like Rapala, Clam, RAZR, and Striker. They've all had announcements this week in the past week of some new gear that they've announced. So we're going to go a little bit into depth on each of them. We have all of these as tight 30 to 60 minute episodes, so we'll keep it moving. Plus, I want to talk about we're launching our newsletter. So check out the pinned comment to sign up. It's also in the description. So make sure that you sign up for that newsletter. It will be roughly once a month that'll be coming out with all the latest and greatest news and deals in fishing gear and tech. So as we go through the stream, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and I will make sure to pull some of them up as I can throughout the stream and answer them. And then last but not least, of course, I always want to know who's tuning in and where are you tuning in from, and let's go ahead and jump in. The first thing, I'm actually pretty excited about this. So StrikeMaster is one of the Rapala brands. They have their Pro jacket and their Pro bibs that they launched this year. And so I'm going to open these up and tell you a little bit about them. First, I actually really like the pattern on these. If you can see up close, let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you. It's got a pretty cool pattern on the black part of the jacket with like a little bit of a gray to it. It's ripstop fabric, which means if you accidentally cut it, you snag it or something like that, it's not going to just rip wide open. It's got ripstop fabric on it, which is really nice. And then the light gray color is complementary to it. It kind of reminds me of like an upgraded version of the Apex suit from Striker Ice. From a look perspective, I'm not necessarily saying functionality. I still think that the Apex suit is probably a better suit. But I haven't tried this one out. I have the Apex suit. I might try this one out this year. We'll see. So they've got the jacket and then they've got the bibs that kind of match with it. So for the jacket, they have all your sizes all the way up to, it looks like 4XL, and they're all the same price. So it doesn't matter. Some of the brands will actually charge more once you get above like 2XL, I think, but they're all the same. It's interesting on their webpage. So if you go down to the details, because I want to talk a little bit about them, on the jacket, they actually give you the details for the bibs. So we got to go over to the bibs to talk about the jacket. Hopefully, I'm sure if somebody knows anybody that works at the company, maybe let them know they can swap these things out. But we're on the bibs, and we're going to read about the jacket now. So it has SOS flotation. So they both do. The SOS stands for stay on surface. So the way that works is the jacket, you can see here, will float for 2 hours when it's worn with the Pro bibs, and the other one says the same. So your bibs will float for 2 hours when worn with the Pro jacket. So if you have the full suit, the idea is that you're going to float on the surface for 2 hours. I'm not sure if what happens after 2 hours, maybe it gets over waterlogged and then you slowly start saying, I have no clue. But hopefully, if you ever fall into the water with this on, you're out of the water within 2 hours. I think that's pretty important. The jacket has a 3-in-1 interchangeable jacket with zip-out puff jacket. So this is something that I know I've really liked about some of my previous jackets. I've had a Striker Climate jacket before, and I really like that inner shell. They don't have any pictures of the shell being zipped out here on their website for some reason, which you'd think is a pretty big selling feature. But that's pretty cool. You have like the way that I would wear that is that the inside one doesn't have the float in it, the float technology. And so you'd wear that just around town, right? So just because they usually look pretty nice and they're warm. And then it's your layering system when you're on the ice. So if you're out there on a little bit, milder day where you want the float and you want a jacket, you wouldn't wear the inside jacket. You just wear the outer float jacket. So that's pretty cool. 3-in-1 interchangeable jacket with zip out puff jacket. The outer main jacket, it says the zip out puff jacket is 40 grams of 3M insulation. I'll make this bigger for you guys so you can see it. 40 grams of 3M insulation, and then the outer main jacket is 140. So that's really good. This is not the gold tier Thinsulate that the Apex suit has. So this is not a competitor of the Apex suit. The Apex suit is also $450, I believe, for the bibs, $450 for the the jacket. And so what you're seeing here, $259 and $259, these definitely are priced a lot more budget friendly than that. Even though it has a similar color pattern, it's not the same in terms of technology. I'm going to zip through a little bit more of this. So it's got fleece line hand warming pockets, which is nice. It's got the YKK zippers, which are like the industry leading. YKK and SBS zippers are the best on the market. Removable hood. It's waterproof, breathable. Rip stop we already talked about. Last thing I'm going to say here is magnetic flap on the main zipper. So I think they did have a photo here. This is one of the features I've really come to like in these float suits, is that they have the magnetic zipper flap on them, both on the bibs and on the jacket, because then you don't have the wind getting through the zipper, and sometimes you don't even need to zip it all the way up. It keeps it nice and tight, which is really nice, and it's not anything to snag on. In terms of the bibs, they talk a little bit about like the cuffs are a little bit adjustable. Again, I'm reading about the bibs on the jacket one, so I'm apologize for that. They've got it messed up on their website right now. They have zip to hip side zippers, so you have the zipper goes all the way up the side of your pants, which is nice, and then of course waterproof as well. And then they also talk about here that they've got multiple layers of 5mm EVA foam knee padding. So there is knee padding on the bibs, which is nice for those guys that are hole hopping and you get down on the ice on your knees as you're jigging or whatever you're doing, setting a tip up or whatever. So that's pretty nice. So I know I kind of over talked about those two. If I did everything, this will be a 5-hour stream. So I'm not going to go that in depth. But I'm really excited about it. I'm going to try it on for sure at one of the shows. I might pick it up just to compare to a couple of the other suits that I have this year. It could be an interesting one. You guys got to let me know if you think that this is something that you may be looking at getting this year. Let's go in my best Tom Brady voice. Hello from Farmington. Hello, Eric. Living MN Outdoors. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you for being here. All right. Rattling Roach Spoon. There is a G. It's not an apostrophe, so it's Rattling Roach Spoon. This may look familiar to you. It looked familiar to me, and so I was like, is this like a buckshot? And yes, this is similar to a different product that was released last year from a different brand. So let's take a look at some of these things here. So we've got, like, look at this. This is a gold. They've got the hair over the treble hook, which I actually really like. I'll try to make this bigger for you guys. Sorry. I know some of you guys are watching on your phones, and so it's kind of hard to see. So you've got the hair covering the hooks, which is actually pretty nice. The hair, it doesn't stay that bushy when it's in the water. It will, like if you've ever used a silky, you know how the threads are pretty, when they're dry, or a feather, they're very bushy, but then when they get in the water, they get kind of stringy like. This will do the same thing, not quite the same, but it will, so you'll still be able to see the hook. But it's actually a really good way to deter some of the attention from the hook, as well as attract attention from the fish, just from the puffiness and the waviness of that in the water too. It gives it a little bit of action, even when you're trying to be finesse, which is nice. Then you've got the body of it. And then you've got the chamber here with rattle. So I was like, what does this look like? Here it is, glass buckshot spoon from last year. So my guess, this is Northland Fishing Tackle. And right now we're talking about VMC, which is also a Rapala brand. So VMC, my guess is, came out with something similar to compete with how well the glass buckshot did last year, which it did phenomenal last year. I think the glass buckshot has three of the little beads inside of it, and it's a glass. They also have their buckshot spoon that's been out for many years. So I think that's what they were going for in terms of competition here. So my guess is this color pattern is going to be their top color pattern. It's like a Wonder Bread pattern with your different colors on it, black and white with the white feathers. I think this is going to do good for them. They have different lengths from 1 inch to 2 inch. It's called the Glow Black Wonder Bread, so it glows too. So I'm definitely going to pick some of these up this year just to see how they work in comparison to the glass buckshot spoons. I got a bunch of those, so we'll see. Charles says, I think I'll stick with my Striker Climate suit. Yeah, I've got one of those out in my garage. I upgraded to the Apex last year, but I loved my climate suit. Loved it. 50 days till walkable ice. Can't wait. Yes, looking at all the gear really gets us excited, at least myself. Super excited for like thinking about getting my shacks out, doing the mods and stuff on it. So, all right, so some of their accessories. So they have the Smart Hub Ice Shack Pack. You can see here, I'm not going to click into all of these. This comes with 2 rattle reels, 2 rod holders, 4 of the attachment points, so 1 for each of the accessories. And then you've got the 2 bars that you can mount onto the wall of like a skid house, a permanent shack, a wheelhouse, something like that. A wall in your garage just for storage, kind of whatever you want to do there. But this is a pretty good combo pack. They've got it listed as $118.49. All of these were out last year. They had all of these accessories last year, so these aren't new, but it's the package of them that is new. All right, moving over. I'm going to click on this one because this is new this year. They did not have this last year. So this is a 7-inch extension arm. So if you needed your rod holder further out, if you needed, your rattle reel further out, you can now do that with the 7-inch extension arm. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's a 7-inch extension arm. It goes right in between an accessory and then the plate on the wall. I've talked about this on another stream, so I'm not going to go super deep on it. But the Glow Pick 6, for some reason my magnifying glass doesn't want to work. The Glow Pick 6 is it's a pick, an ice pick, like a toothpick style that you can get the hooks out of their mouth. Plus it's got a push button here that you can see for glowing. So you can actually glow up your jigs with it. So it's like a 2-in-1 type of tool. And I think it's 6 inches long, which is why I call it that. We've talked, I've got several videos out now and a couple more actually coming. This is the laser light drill. So this is the light flight drill from StrikeMaster. Of course, we all know this has been out. This is not new. What's new about it that they're calling new here is this is the 10-inch version that previously up until this year could not be purchased separately from a 40-volt auger head. This year, they're selling the bit itself separately. That you can see here, they've got it listed at $236.49. So that's what that guy is. Then they've got some new sizes, new colors of some of their jigs, new combo packs of their Flash Champ spoons. They've got a new colors. So they've got like a white and black Flash Champ spoon. So I'm not going to go super deep into each of those. They do have a new tungsten larve eye jig that you can see here. It's intended to be at a 90-degree angle. Pretty cool. It looks like some of the different bug ones I've seen from other brands in years past, but that could be interesting to you. All right, I'm going to pull one other thing up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it up here, but let me see. StrikeMaster Power Box. Here it is. You guys got to let me know in the chat. Have you seen this? Have you guys seen this before? This was actually in their catalog last year, but I believe due to production issues, they weren't actually able to produce it and get it in stores. So this is not listed as a new item on their new item page, but this is new this year. I know that there've been at least one social post that I saw on Facebook announcing it, but this was actually out last year. In fact, if you guys like YouTube, if you're on YouTube, Aaron Weeb actually put out a video for First Ice last year, and he had this in his otter sled that he was going across the little pond lake area in, and he had one of these in it. So this is not new this year. It was actually out last year in their catalog, but they didn't release it to retailers. This year, I believe it will be. It still looks like it's not even in stock yet. But the idea here is if you have one of their 40-volt augers, you can actually put your battery right in here. You have banana plugs on the back of it. And then you also have USB charging ports, USB-C charging ports. You've got a UV light. You've got Bluetooth connectivity because I believe you have a speaker built into it as well. Yes, so it is a Bluetooth speaker as well. This thing is sweet. It is $200 MSRP. I don't know what it's going to look like when it gets to show deals, if it's even at the shows. Comes with a power cord and your banana plugs to your battery ports as well if you need to charge up a battery or whatever. But I thought it was pretty interesting, so I wanted to call this out, even though it is not listed for some silly reason on their new page. They should have put it here, even though it was out last year. But have you guys seen that before? No, looks cool though. No. Okay, cool. Bass Pro is showing it is new this year. It is a sick box. Yeah. So check it out if you want to. Again, I'll link all these things down below after the stream's over. Just hop on Google and look it up too. But if you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend. I'm sure a lot of you have seen Aaron Weeb in his YouTube channel. Look at the video he put out. It was probably about a year ago, maybe 11 months ago when he did First Ice. He had that. So he can kind of show you how he used it. I think he maybe even had 2 of them with him. But yeah. Okay. Moving on from Rapala. So the thing that I want to tell you, some of these podcasts, we're going to have sponsors. So I guess I'm sponsoring my own podcast episode this week with the newsletter. So I just got this site up and running today. It's the FGTN, Fishing Gear and Tech News is what it stands for. You can see across the bottom of the screen here. FGTN newsletter. So I have a website. It's alextimm.com. I have this link to this newsletter sign-up page as a pinned comment, as well as down in the description, no matter where you're watching, if you're on Facebook or if you're on, I think I'm on Twitter right now, as well as on YouTube. But if you go here, you enter in your email, you're going to be able to sign up for the newsletter. I will be putting out a newsletter every several weeks, probably once a month. That'll have just the highlights. So it'll have, if you can't watch all of these podcast episodes, you're going to get a lot of that content in a bullet type format. So it's going to be concise. It's going to be sweet and to the point. There's going to be links to things so you can easily get to them. I'm also working to get you guys some exclusive deals. So sign up if for no other reason other than I'm trying to get you guys some special promo codes and deals just by being on this newsletter. You're going to be able to get that. So it's a great way if you don't have a lot of time to invest into searching out all the gear. I spend many, many hours every week trying to find the deals. Go sign up for this. You're going to be able to type in your email, click sign up. You're going to get an email confirmation. Click that just to validate your email, and then it'll come out. I'm not going to spam you. I'm not selling your emails to anybody, but that's what it is. So you can unsubscribe at any time if you want to. You can share it out with other people, but there's going to be some pretty good deals in there and some good updates and news all the way throughout the year. So even when we get back to open water, we'll continue posting on there as well. I'll also outline like if there's some new videos on the channel that I think could be helpful for you. I'm really focused on value of the audience and what you guys are going to get out of it. So if you have thoughts and ideas of things you want to see included either in the newsletter, on this podcast, or on the channel, of course, as always, let me know. All right, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Clam. So Clam has a couple things that I want to outline for you. They've got the catalog, and I wish every brand would do this. I haven't seen this from any other brand this year. I saw it from one other brand, Rapala, last year, but this year, this is the only one that I saw. Clam has a 2023-2024 catalog that I have up on the screen here. It is a interactive web page, 112 pages long, where you can literally flip through it, and you can see this isn't just their new gear this year. This is everything that they have available. So if you think back to like when you would get catalogs in the mail, heck, maybe you still do. I know some companies still do that. I want to say Bass Pro, Cabela's maybe even does it, but it's probably not everything. This is literally everything from my understanding that they have available. And then if you get to, let me show you here. Here we go. So there is the new bubble circle call out on the new products that they have as well. So I'll put a link to this down below. I'm not going to go through it at all here tonight, but you're going to be able to get specs. You're going to be able to read about their products. You can filter. I think if we go back to the very beginning, I think they had a table of contents or something like that. Maybe they didn't. Somewhere I saw they had a way to look at it. Maybe you can go through here. I don't know. Play around with it. Somewhere I thought that there was a way to sort by specific categories, but look at it. This is really cool. If you want to see all of the cool stuff that's out there, if something came out maybe 2 years ago that you didn't know about, or you need an accessory or spare part for something, this catalog is going to be your best friend. What I'm going to talk to you about tonight, because Clam announced it, was it last Thursday? I think they announced it. All of their new gear for the year. We've seen them trickle out. I've covered some of the things like their full door hubs. We've talked about their Predator tip up, but I want to go through some of the other things that we haven't yet talked about, as well as brush up on some of the things that we had. And if you want more information, where you can get that. So this is their page on their website. So they have a brand new website. They just launched it too. So they redid their whole website, clamoutdoors.com. Again, I'll have it linked down below too, but there is under shop. If you click on shop at the top, the big new button, if you click on it, you'll be able to get to the same page that I'm on right now. So they have the Predator tip up. I'm sure, I know I've covered this in at least one other podcast episode, and I think a tip up video that I launched last week. This is a 2-in-1 tip up. I have actually done quite a bit of research on this in the last week. Just to look at, do I think that I would use it in Minnesota? And here's the deal. Originally, I didn't think that I would, because this is intended to be an auto hook setting tip up as one of its primary uses. But it also doubles as a flag only system. I'll click on it and see if they have any pictures here. I don't even know. So this is when, obviously you can see the rod is loaded. This is intended for in the states where you can use it, like Wisconsin, like North Dakota, around me at least. I'm sure there's plenty of other states. You guys need to look in your own state. You'll know. I'm sure if you're on the stream, you know if your state allows you to have hook setting devices. But they have a hook setting one, and then the back trigger, you swap out with it, and then it doesn't set the hook. You actually leave your bail open, and it just triggers the flag. So it's like a normal tip up. My original thought was, I don't need, it's probably overbuilt for just a flag system, but it's actually really heavy duty. It's super easy to set the flag on. So I'm going to pick up a couple this year, and I'm going to see how I like them. I primarily fish in Minnesota, so you're not going to really see me use the hook setting feature unless I go over the border to one of the other states around me. But you'll see me using it. It's really heavy duty. I don't know how much it weighs, but I watched a stream of them actually going through it, the two inventors going through it and talking about how to use it, all of the adjustments on it. It looks awesome. So check it out at one of the stores or one of the shows. If you're at one of them, it's completely adjustable in every way possible. $70 though, so it's not cheap. It's a premium product, but I'm sure there's going to be some show specials. Usually 10 to 20% off is what you see at the show. So I thought this was an interesting one. I just wanted to call that out because a little bit of an update from the last video I put out on it. Then they've got some hats. I'm not going to talk about them. They've got new hats. I don't know if they're new or if they're just new colors or if they're just launched again. This is new. I have not seen this from any other brand. I've actually talked to another brand about doing this 3 years ago, and they did not launch this product. What this is solving for, what is the pain point? Have you ever been in a hub shack, ice camping or ice fishing, and the problem that you have is when it snows or it rains or it's really windy, the top of your shack falling in, or if you've got those hooks up, or if you're hanging things from the ceiling and the top of your hub pops in. If that has happened to you, you know how much of a pain it is. What this is this is a roof support pole. So this pole, as you can see here, has a base that goes to the ground, and it goes all the way up to the hub that's in the center of your hub shack on the top. So you can see it here in the picture being used. This is not going to be for everybody. If you don't have this issue, maybe it's not for you, but this is actually, it's happened to me a couple of times in the past. So this is the type of thing where I would have one, packed with me, but I would only take it out and use it if I actually needed it, or if I was going to do overnight camping for a couple of days in a shack just for, extra support. But that's what this is. So it goes in the middle of your hub shack and it supports it up. It's not cheap though. It's $45. So it may be right for you. It may not be right for you, but I just wanted to outline that this is a new product. I haven't really seen Clam or anybody really talking about it yet, so I wanted to make sure that I highlighted it. This I'm actually super excited about. If you are one of the people that has a flip over shack, that has a tow bar on your flip over shack, one of the things that you'll notice is a lot of those tow bars actually have the pin that you're supposed to have a hitch pin type thing that you use, right? Well, a lot of us that have either, maybe snowmobiles, for sure, like ATVs, for sure trucks, where you're pulling something, a lot of times you actually have a hitch already on there that you're using to pull a trailer or something else, either when you're not on the ice or maybe even if you're on the ice. This is really cool. So it goes right over the ball. You can see here, if you have a hitch on your machine, your ATV, or your vehicle, this goes right over it. Then you slide this pin in, and you can see it locks underneath the collar of the ball. And so it can't come back off because it's stuck under the head of the hitch ball. And then you've got your little, it pivots, of course, but then you've got your pinhole. So that way you can actually put your tow bar right onto the back of your machine, even if you have a hitch. This is really cool. I've done some, you can look at the videos on my channel. I've done some other things in the past to hack something to make it work, where I've actually purchased like a tongue for a hitch for a trailer, like a receiver, and just didn't have the trailer attached to it, but I drilled a hole in it and then had that work. But this is way better, and it's only $20. So this could be good for you if you have this problem. But it looks like it mounts to most balls up to 2 5/8 inches wide. So cool. All right, let's go back. We're going to fly through some of these other things. We're already at half past. So Clam lock double cup holder. So this is a new accessory for them that they launched this year. They've got their Clam lock system. I know this came out last year. They've talked about it for a little while. They've got a lot of accessories. I've talked about it. It's these hubs that you can put on your hub, on your machine. You can put it in your permanent shack, but this has 2 cup holders and then some holes in it for toothpicks, pliers, scissors, those types of things. So that's that new accessory. Here's another new accessory. I'm looking to pick this up this year. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's called the Aurora LED Light Kit. You get 2 of these packages. In one package, you get 2 strips. These are 4-foot long light strips that you can see here. In the new hub shacks that I'll show you when we talk about them briefly, is you can see in this picture here how the lights go all the way around the shack. Like, this is like a dream come true for like somebody that wants to put them up, leave them mounted in their shack and collapse it down because they're flexible. They go right along the poles, and it's the full 4 foot of lighting. These are awesome. For somebody that's doing ice camping, overnight in a shack, these could be great for you. So they have 3 dimmable light settings: soft white, medium, and bright white. It includes the 2 light strips per pack that I talked about, 900 lumens, 4 feet length per light. So total of 8 feet that you can cover with one of these packages. It's got hook and loop, which is Velcro, another word for Velcro without saying Velcro, because I think Velcro is actually a brand name. So hook and loop adhesive, that means Velcro, works with any hub shelter. And it says a remote is included with the starter pack. So this is the starter pack. So you have the 2 strips, and then you have a remote that's with it. It's $49.99. Now, they also have the add-on kit. So it's $10 cheaper. You get the 2, but it doesn't have the remote with it because you can daisy chain these to go all the way around and back to one power source through one connection. So these look pretty cool. They're actually not too ridiculously expensive. If you look at like the LED light kits from like Otter, even from Clam, they're 50 plus. Like last year, I saw some of the Otter Pro light kits where it's like I think it's like the 4 little strips that are like 8 inches long, up to $65 for a 4-pack. So this is actually a pretty good deal. We'll see how well they work and how well they hold up. I like the Hog outdoor lights too. All right, rattle reel indicator. I've got a few of these from a different brand, but these look like they're going to work as well. So you've got Velcro right around it. It's a little box that is meant to have your line that goes on it. So what it does is when your line gets pulled, it will actually it will light up and sound off for you that there is a fish on your line or something pulled your line. So it's a constant LED light and loud beeping sound when tripped. It's white, has 4 adjustment settings for the light. It's magnetic and Velcro attachment for attaching to rattle reels. It's compatible with any rattle reel that has a straight arm. There's a beeping sound rated at 65 decibels. And then the light and sounds are independently adjustable depending on how you want to use it. So if you just want to use the light, if you just want to use the sound, you can adjust them so one's louder or quieter than the other, or brighter or duller. And then batteries require 2 AA batteries that are not included. So this is pretty cool. If you're interested in this, I might get one and check it out and see how it works against the other one. The other ones that I have are nice because they float. I don't know if this floats. Because the idea is that they mount on your wall, and if it falls in while you're changing the batteries, it doesn't sink to the bottom of the lake. I don't know if these ones do that too. It's only $25, which isn't cheap, but it's not super expensive either. They have a UV light that they came out with. Nothing like super exciting here. It's a flashlight, but it's a UV light, and the idea here is it's intended to glow your jigs. So they came out with that. The hubs, they've got all their full door hubs this year. If you haven't seen my other videos on it, I'll talk about it super fast. The difference here versus any other brand is on the Clam full door hubs is you've got a bottom to the full door. So what they're selling this as is that you don't get the drift under the door like you do with Otter, like you do with Eskimo, like you do with Nordic Legend. So this is a full door, but there is a little bit of a lip here that you have to step over, and then you've got the skirt all the way around it. So it does two things. One, you don't have the draft that comes under it because you can bank this part in, and then you also don't have the door splitting apart on you because the way that the others are is the door, since there is no fabric here in between, it can spread apart. So this is the way that they did their full door. They are calling it, I think they're calling it a max entry door. So there's that. I think it'll work good. It's still something to trip on though. I don't know if they had to do this for patent reasons or if the thought is that this truly is better. Like, I don't know. I've never used it, so I can't tell you. I've used the full door hubs that don't have anything in the way, and I love it. And I've never had an issue with snow or wind or anything coming underneath. But maybe I just haven't used it enough to have that be something that I would really appreciate. So maybe this year I'll have to try one of these out or go fishing with somebody that's got one and maybe do a side-by-side comparison. But yeah, they've got all of their different series of hubs with these options for the max entry door, it looks like. So you'll see the X400, the X Series 4, 5, 6, 8, and then they've got the thermals, the Ice Team editions. So I'm going to open this one up. This is the X600 Thermal Ice Team. I think this one has the Aurora lights in it that I can show you. Let's see here. Yeah, it says the Ice Team model features Clam's Aurora lighting system for built-in lights inside your shelter. I talked about it on another stream, so if I can't find it here, we'll try to click on another one and see if it comes up. I'm sure it'll be in here. I know you can't hear the audio, but let me just see if they show the lights like I was talking about earlier. So that way you can at least get a visual of what I meant. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here you go. So you can see how the lights, they actually have them attached right by the pole inside of the shack across the top. So this is built in. I don't know how this one's attached, like if it's attached to the pole or if it's attached in the fabric where there's a loop for it. I don't know that. I haven't seen these in person yet, but they do have the lights in them. I don't know what length of the lights they have in it. I don't know if it says, but I thought that it goes all the way around the inside border of it. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here. But we will also have, I'm working on dates with Matt Johnson from Clam. We're going to get him on a podcast, so that'll be one of the questions that I have. So that'll be an upcoming podcast either later this month or in November. We're going to do a podcast going through all of Clam stuff, and he's going to answer some questions. So if you have questions, even give me the difficult ones. I'll put a few posts out to gather them as well. But yeah, ask those questions, and we'll be able to ask Matt himself. All right, let's keep going here. I think that was pretty much it. They've got these tackle boxes. I'm going to pick a few up. I'm kind of interested to see how they work, but there's 9 lures in here. They said every box is a little bit different. I don't know if they're numbered, so you can make sure that you don't get like a number, like the number 4 box again. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing. I don't know how this works, but these are the CPT mystery grab bag boxes, $29.99, 9 lures included. I'm going to pick a few up this year. Maybe I'll do a couple unboxings just to see, are they worth it? Are they not worth it? You know, are these going to go on show special deals and then you're going to get some really good lures in it? I don't know. They don't give a ton of detail here as to what's all going to be in it, but they're all Clam Pro Tackle lures. It does say other items are included as well. So who knows? Great gift item. So there you go. Could be interesting. I know there's a lot of companies that are doing these, but I always like trying them out a little bit just to see if they work. They got a ton of new reels out. Their kind of premium reel that I saw was the Misago reel. I might be butchering the name on it. It's $89.99. I think it's a 9+1 ball bearing system. It's got all the fun things on it. The one thing that I don't like that it doesn't have is it doesn't have the button collapsing reel handle. That's the one thing my Daiwas that I have for ice fishing do, as well as my bait feeders from Akuma do as well. And so those are the ones that I use because they have the reel handle that folds down. So I probably won't be trying this. It may sound really stupid, but for that reason alone, I don't necessarily have any reason for it because I like collapsing those handles down the way that I move them around. But this does look like a premium reel. They have the special low temp grease in it because it's intended for ice fishing. Check it out if you want, but this looks like their new premium reel that they've got. And then they've got a few other Jason Mitchell LS reel, the Predator reel. They've got the XL tripod chair. They had the tripod chair before, but this is the XL version of it. They have the rechargeable hand warmer this year. I bought a few of these last year, not from Clam because they didn't have them. These are new this year, but these are just like the ones that you buy on Amazon that come from China, from my understanding. And they're okay. They're nice if somebody else has them and they let you borrow them because you didn't need to charge it. Make sure that it was charged and bring it with you because they've got some weight to it. But they are convenient. Like if you're one of those people that wants a little something to hold in your hand, it's hard plastic, but it does heat up. It's kind of nice. It has different heat settings on it. And then it does have a USB charger on it as well. They don't have a picture of it here, but I believe it's a USB-A. So the big USB, like what you'd have on a computer, to whatever adapter you would need for your phone or whatever, you can charge as well. I'm not a fan of them. I've got a few different ones that I tried out last year to see if there was anything that I loved and I was going to do a video on it, but I don't love the weight of them. I'd rather just have a couple of those extra hot hands things with that you can buy like in bulk from Costco or Sam's Club for a couple of bucks, and just have a couple of those packs because they last like 8 hours anyways. But this could be good for somebody that wants that USB charger or they don't want to be buying again and again those hot hands. If you have another use for these that you've seen them be really good in, maybe it fits perfectly in a glove or in a mitt or something like that, let me know. I'd be open to trying out to see if there's another way to do it. All right, let's keep going. Another reel, another shack. Ice rod slicks. So I believe these are new this year. I don't think they had them last year. I know I bought a bunch of these from Amazon. These are worth the money, even at $12.99. I think I found a 4-pack on Amazon for $10. It's probably linked down below because it's like one of the best budget buys that I found. Where these really shine is they're the shorter length. You probably have these on your open water rods potentially, but on ice fishing rods, they're the shorter length. Why these are great is if you use a rod sleeve, like I use the Rapala double barrel rod sleeve, where they're the tubes you put your rods in. Normally you put maybe 2 in there and then you have a problem with them like getting all tangled up. This protects your line, it protects your rod, it protects your rod eyes, and they glide right across each other. And so what you're able to do here is get multiple. I think in a small little, the double barrel has 2 small little tubes in it, and I think I can fit like 3 or 4 in each of them with no problem at all. I think there have been times I've jammed up to 6 in there, and it's nice because it just pulls right out. You don't have to worry about everything tangling up. So these are definitely worth the money. And then they've got the little elastic band here that you can throw around your reel and tighten it down so that way it doesn't slide off. Like, these are worth it, 100%. Rise Float Parka. I think this is just a new color pattern for them because they had the Rise Float suit last year. There may be something different in terms of the insulation. I'm not 100% sure. We'll have to maybe get some more detail on that when Matt comes on. I think these are new colors, new rod lengths here. They've got a new stoplight bobber. So this came out last year. They now have 2 sizes, so a small and a large. I think last year they only had the large. This year they came out with the small, I believe. They've got the katana rod in a different length. They've got new colors of their feathered gaff treble hooks, which are great. I feel like this is the same hat that they always have. So I don't know why it's new. Maybe the logo, maybe it's different. I don't know. The gaff vinyl treble hooks, you got some colors on these. I don't know if these were out last year or if they're just new colors this year. But these are pretty cool because they have vinyl on them. And then we're almost done with Clam, and then we'll move on to the next one here. Gaff epoxy treble hooks. So these were out last year. So these are some new colors. The chain treble hooks, these were out last year. I really like these for when you're targeting perch. These things do great. The Gaff epoxy treble hooks, these are one of my go-tos. You get one of the UV glow ones. You put it down with like a shiner minnow. Shoot, you could put it down with a crappie minnow on it at night as a dead stick on like a rattle reel or a dead stick. These things are great at night. So I really like them. Even during the day as a dead stick, these things are great. So that's what I use them for. These are 2 of the new products for this year that are getting a lot of press and social media coverage right now. I'm going to pick both up to try them out. The Tika Flash. So this has got the blade on the back of it. This looks deadly for this year. I'm excited to try it out. And then the Rattle and PT spoon. My number 1 rattling spoon last year was the StrikeMaster from Acme Tackle. And this looks like I don't want to call it the copycat because they have some different unique things here, like it's made out of all zinc and whatnot, but this looks just like it. So we should be able to see a lot of the things that I liked about the StrikeMaster last year in this spoon. So I'm definitely going to try it out. This should flutter down a little bit better. I can't wait to try it out. Some new reels, rods. We got to keep going here. They got a Rattle and PT kit. Some new colorways in some of these different suits. They got the Delta Float Parka in bib. So this is part of I think it's called their Ice Ops line, where it helps supports military as well. I think a percentage of the sales go towards it. And then they've got a ton of new gloves and stuff. So this could actually be a new hat. I haven't seen this hat before. And then some of the gloves. So that's Clam. We're going to go way more in depth. We have a dedicated podcast coming up with Matt Johnson. TBD on the date, but it will be either later this month or early in November. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to get more detail about that as it gets closer. I've got 2 more things that I got to go through, and we are running short on time. First, RAZR ice augers. So their big thing this year is the ice wings on the 6-inch Ultra auger bit that they have. So last year they announced the ice wings. I've got a video on my channel. In fact, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom of this, they actually have it linked up here. This is what the thumbnail looks like on YouTube. It says ice wings and it's the auger bit, and you can see the metal wings on it here on the sides. Check that video out. Nick from RAZR, who's the president of RAZR, he did an interview with me last year showing off what this looks like at one of the shows. It does a really good job explaining how it all works. So make sure you check it out. This was on their 8-inch last year. This year it's on their 6-inch bits. They work really well. So make sure that you check out that video if you want more detail, or you can read through this and get some more information as well. The whole concept behind it is that these wings here, they are vertical. So as you're going down the hole, it's giving you some support against the outside circumference of the hole so that it pulls you down and keeps you straight going down. When you break through the ice, like it just goes smoothly right through the ice and keeps you straight instead of jerking and going side to side as you break through. So that's what they have. They're adding that to the 6-inch synthetic ultra this year, the synthetic light, and the Scout models, all available October of 2023. So this month they're coming out. These are the ones that they had last year, the 8-inch ultra, light, and Scout. So 6-inch of the comparable for this year. All right. Striker brands, and then we'll see if we have time for questions at the end here. So Striker has a few things that came out this year. They have the gloves, which I'm kind of excited about. They came out with, was it 3 years ago? They came out with these gloves, and now they're coming out with the gloves again, but in some new patterns. Like this is a really cool strike transition pattern, which looks really cool. So these are a lightweight glove that is waterproof, which is super awesome, but it gives you that full dexterity. They are warm. They're not like your super warm gloves, but they're very warm gloves, and they're waterproof. So you can stick your hand in the water and you can pull it out and your hand's not going to get wet as long as the water obviously doesn't go above the wrist cuff on it. What do they say about it? The silicone print palm provides necessary grip. So this is all grip that you're seeing here on this pattern, and a Tech Touch fingertip, which I don't think that they had on the original ones. But so you have your Tech Touch, so you can use your phone, your tablet, whatever you want with that. Your screen, your touch screen on your fish finder, if you have that. Touchscreen electronics, take a picture without having to take your gloves off, which is awesome. They're still hard for me to like tie on new jigs and whatnot, so I have to take them off for that. But for everything else, you can kind of keep them on. 4-way stretch fabric, they're very stretchy, water-resistant coating, excellent dexterity, waterproof, silicone. So they are waterproof, so there's a layer beneath this that's waterproof. And then it must be water-resistant coating on it to help repel water from even sitting on the glove in the first place, which is great. Extended cuff for added protection. So they've got this in 2 different colors for this year. They've got the strike transition, and then they've got a black-gray pattern as well. Then they've got some new hoodies, which if you're a hoodie person, look at those hoodies. They've got the women's hoodies, which are nice. They've got the Tundra mitts, which I feel like I've seen before. Maybe there's some upgrade to them. Crossover flip mitt. Okay, I know that this was released last year. So what is new? Maybe it tells us. I don't know. This looks the same as what it was last year. Maybe there's more insulation. I don't remember the numbers of insulation, but they had this out last year. So again, maybe they didn't produce a ton of them, and so this year they're calling it new. I'm not sure. Some new hats. I like this orange one. It looks pretty cool. And that's it. So they don't have a new suit. I was fully hoping and quite honestly expecting, but it could be due to supply chain issues, their Apex suit. I was told they were working on a new color pattern for their Apex suit. Here, let me pull it up. Because it's been 2 years now that they've had this gray color of the Apex bibs and jacket. I was told they were going to come out with a new one this year. Last year, they told me they were working on it. So hopefully next year they come out with one. This is the suit that I have. The color's definitely grown on me a little bit. You can see how this is kind of similar, like I was saying, to the StrikeMaster Pro jacket. The color pattern is very similar, but I think these were $450 a piece. Yeah, $450 for the jacket, $450 for the bibs. Whereas you look at, I shouldn't be doing this because I'm not comparing apples to apples. They're completely different products in quality of products, but $250. But if you want one that looks like it, maybe get the Rapala, the StrikeMaster jacket. But yeah, hopefully next year or later this year they come out with a new color pattern. Who knows? Maybe they're still going to announce it, or maybe they have it and they just can't get them in stock in time for the ice season. Who knows? All right. That is what I had for the stream. Let's see if there's any questions before we wrap up here in the next couple of minutes. All right. Ty Turkington, would you rock this Clam X series over the comparable Eskimo 650 XD? I would try it. The X series, I would get the Ice Team version of it, so that way you have the Aurora lighting in it, which is super nice. By the looks of it, again, I haven't used any of the new Clam stuff this year yet. Or last year I didn't get a chance to use any of it. Maybe this year I'll get to use some of the stuff for next year, so I have more experience with it. We'll see. Over the comparable Eskimo 650 XD, the 650 is a phenomenal shack. I have nothing bad to say about that shack as of now. I will be doing a side-by-side comparison, so maybe I will get the comparable size of the Eskimo 650 XD, compare it to the 650, I think is the Otter Resort size. So maybe I'll do a side-by-side comparison, either in the Resort size or the Lodge size, because I already have the 450 XD. I have the Otter Lodge Pro Vortex with the full door. So maybe I'll get the X Series. I don't know if it's the 400. That would be similar size. They're the same, they just get bigger. So maybe I'll do a comparison this year. But I would not purchase myself the Clam X Series if I already had the Eskimo 650. The door, I would say the door should be your deciding factor if it were me, because you can get the Aurora lights and just put them in your Eskimo. I would say if you want a non-trip door, go with the Eskimo 650. If you want one that's going to be maybe a little bit more rigid, where the door's not going to pull apart and you're really worried about draft under the door, then I'd go with the Clam X Series. That would probably be the deciding factor for me. What I personally would do, if I didn't have one, is the Clam X Series. Hi, Patrick. Thanks for hopping on. Matthew, love these videos, dude. Me too. Let's see, what else do we got here? We got just a couple minutes left. Charles says he's going to stick to Eskimo. I've never had a noticeable draft. Yeah, I haven't either. I always set my door opposite of the window. Like, the only thing that I can think of is Clam had some sort of, maybe there was a patent or something that they had to overcome. I don't know. Or they just wanted something unique that they could patent so nobody else could. And they said, how can we improve the design? Because I will say, the doors can slide apart on you, right? Like if we look at, I don't have them up, but if we were to look at any of the other brands, you would see that the doors can easily slip apart. So maybe they were trying to solve for that. I don't know. Non-collapsible is a deal breaker for me as well. Yeah, the handle on the reels, yeah, it stinks. There's not a ton of them. Getting the 650 or the Clam X600, man, the X600 is over 6 inches tall. Hey, there you go. I didn't know that it was taller. So there you go. Maybe that's the deciding factor for you. All right, let's see here. Apex worth it. I think the Apex is worth it. I came from the Striker Climate suit, and I thought I wouldn't find a suit better than it. The Striker Climate suit, for the record, is the one that has the layering system. Here, I'll pull it up since we're on Striker's website. Climate. So the Climate bibs have the liner inside of them, right? Come on. Hopefully you did a photo of it. Right here. No. Right here. Okay, so they have a zip out liner. You would not wear the liner for the bibs by itself because it's just there's no way to hold them up on you. Like they just zip in and out so that you have adjustable warmth levels with the bibs. The jacket, on the other hand, I don't know why it didn't pull up. Why did it do that? Let's just do this. The Climate jacket, for those of you that don't know, I highly recommend this. Jacket. This guy. So the Climate jacket is a 3-in-1 as well, similar to what you saw from StrikeMaster. Their names are so similar, Striker and StrikeMaster. So you've got the outside of the jacket, which I love the look of this jacket. This is actually the color pattern that I have. But then inside of it, you have the zip out liner, which is amazing by itself. They should add this in here. So it's this soft shell jacket. This is the liner inside of that jacket. Like when you buy that Climate jacket, this is what you get inside of it. So you can imagine, dude, wear this around town. And then you don't even need to zip it into the outer shell of it that has the float on it. Throw it over the top if you want. It's a fancy, nice jacket. So I love this jacket. The Climate suit was the warmest one that I've ever been in. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to try the Apex. The Apex does not have liners. It's one jacket and one set of bibs. And I was like, there is no way that it's anywhere near as warm as the Climate. I was wrong. The Apex suit is so light. It's insane. Like, you put it on and you're like, there's no way this thing can be warm. You go outside and it's unbelievable how warm it is. Like, I should try to do a video comparing them this year, just in terms of like weight and whatnot. But like, I was blown away. But it's definitely in a league of its own. Like, if you just look at what were the bibs, the Climate bibs, they were $329, so another $130 to get the Apex version of it. But yeah, kind of went on a tangent there. All right. Otter is not as good quality over Eskimo. Yeah, I think it's preference, and I think it's personal experience, right? So I know people that will say Eskimo's the best, some will say Otter's the best, some will say the Clam stuff is getting there, and they may even be the best now. Like, it depends on who you talk to and the experience that they've had. I've had good experiences with all of them. I've had bad experiences with all of them. And I think it depends on the feature that you're looking for. For instance, last year on the channel, I did a one-man comparison. So a one-man Eskimo, the top of the line Eskimo one-man flip over, top of the line Clam one-man flip over, and the top of the line one-man Otter flip over. I did a side-by-side comparison of all three of them. There's areas that some of them were better than the others, and there were areas that they were worse. There was no clear winner across. It came down to the use cases and your preferences on a few things to determine which shack was right for you. So yeah, like, it definitely depends on what you want. I do hope Otter starts innovating a little bit more with their shacks, because I haven't seen anything out of Otter that I've been impressed with for the last two years, because 3 years ago they came out with their full door. And all they've done in the past 2 years is expand the full door to their other hubs that they have. I haven't seen anything new out of Otter. So they need to start innovating a little bit. Hopefully next year they've got a big assortment coming out of some new stuff, because Eskimo's catching up, man. Clam's catching up. Like, the competition's catching up. I love Otter. They build durable stuff, especially in their tubs. So like in flip overs, for instance. But yeah. Apex is alien technology. Oh, I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We are at the end of the stream. So if you've made it this far and you want to see more about ice gear, as soon as the stream's over, it should pop up another video on the screen. You're going to want to check it out. Some of the other brands that I've already covered, if you haven't seen it yet, look at all of those other brands and the gear that they've already announced for the 2023-2024 ice season. And until next time, take it easy.